Hey peeps, it's Ray, and I watched Night School with Kevin Hart, and to be honest, I did enjoy it. It was quite funny, but there was one part of the film that really bugged me, and that's how they treated learning difficulties on screen. Teddy Walker, Kevin's character, is shown to be struggling in high school and actually drops out over taking the test. He can't focus when studying, and when he does look at words, they fly around off the page, showing he probably has dyslexia, because for some reason that's how movies always show dyslexia. There's a few things I want to talk about, both good and bad. And before you come at me, I know this is a comedy, but I feel like there's a line in comedy between actually funny and harmful. And this film borderlines on harmful. Specific learning difficulties like dyslexia, dysgraphia and dyscalculia can make it difficult and sometimes impossible for a child to reach the same result as their peers in a traditional classroom setting. This often leads to low self-esteem, especially when undiagnosed. A learning difficulty can hold people back, and to be honest, this film does show that well. Teddy becomes a liar,
but I don't lie,
and wants his partner to think he has money and can get a good job. And this continues when he doesn't tell her about getting his GED and working in fast food. In his graduation speech, Teddy says he was ashamed that he couldn't do what other people can, and that is a genuine fear and can affect self-esteem to such an extreme that you make a persona of yourself to present to people that you can hide behind. It's becoming increasingly worse for those who haven't been diagnosed, as they just think they can't do it, and the current education system doesn't tailor to their needs unless you have a specialist mentor. So it can be impossible for them to get good grades, leading to frustration and, like in Teddy's case, leaving education despite wanting a good job. In fact, in 2015, only 6% of people with a known learning difficulty had a job. 6%. I had to look those numbers up multiple times, and sadly, they're true. This is such a low number, especially when you consider that 74% of people without a learning difficulty have a job. Study break, not a break, but you're getting a study, and you know, I love psychology, so my nerdy ass is ready for a study. In 2008, Emerson and Hatton estimated that 17% of people with a learning difficulty was in a paid job. He split these people down further into groups and found that 28% of people with a mild or moderate difficulty had a job, 10% with a severe difficulty had one, and 0% of people with a profound or multiple difficulties were in paid work. This is due to multiple factors, such as past experiences, not getting enough qualifications, and discrimination in the workplace, amongst others. The one we see from Teddy is the fact that he doesn't have the qualifications for the job that he wants, and that's why he goes to get his GED. I was going to Google, should I hit a person with a learning difficulty to make them focus? But even I knew not to do that. As a non-professional and a non-teacher, just an average person, I knew that wasn't okay. This movie does not. I think this is where the comedy factor came in, but it basically saw Teddy's teacher hitting Teddy.
What's the square root of 81?
What?
This could be classed as negative reinforcement, which is a term coined by psychologist B.F. Skinner. She presented the stimuli he would be adverse to, getting hit, and took it away if he got the answer right. So in theory, he should want to get the answer right and so focus more because he knows he'll get a reward, or the negative factor of being hit is taken away, so it makes him want to. Put it in this way, if you're grounded as a kid, and then you do something good and your parents unground you, it'll make you want to do the good thing again, and that is negative reinforcement. But it shouldn't be used on people whose behaviours can't be helped. Teddy can't help the fact that he can't focus, and hitting someone with a learning difficulty because they can't focus is actually very abusive and could make the disorder worse. It was a funny scene, but if you calculate the comedy over potential harm, I say it does more harm than good. In one part of the scene, Teddy focuses just because his teacher tells him to focus, and that bugged me. Yes, someone with a learning difficulty can focus and get stuff done, but it's not easy. It's like telling someone who's depressed to just be happy. People with depression can be happy, but it's not as simple as just being like, hey, be happy. There's things teachers can put in place. You can have more time on tests, you can have different colour backgrounds so you can read the text easier. And they can also be given specialist teaching equipment such as audiobooks, recorders, word processing programs, amongst others. The issue isn't just a lack of focus, it's more in depth than that, and you have to work on the reason why it's hard for them to focus. The teacher does show some initiative after she gives Teddy his diagnosis, and I was quite happy to see that. She makes the lessons more interactive, which means he doesn't just have to look at a board and see words or try to process words that are being said to him. At the end of the movie, Teddy doesn't pass straight away, but when he eventually does pass, he ends up getting a higher grade than anyone else in the class. I like that they had Teddy pass in even if it did take a while. when he got the hang of the test and how to study for it, he actually managed to get well over what he needed to pass and well over what other people in his class got. This shows to us that people with learning difficulties aren't stupid. They're smart, they just need to be taught in a certain way, and it can just take them longer to process stuff than other people. But that doesn't make them stupid. I don't know what the purpose of this video was besides doing research, because I miss doing research. I haven't done psychology in a year now, almost 2. And I wanted to do some studying, you know? Does that make me a nerd? Yes, it does. But it's fine. It's fine. We love it. I got some content out of it. And I guess I wanted to shine a light on media and show you that you shouldn't really take in everything that you see in media, and a lot of things are skewed or not shown properly. So if you're going to take anything away from this, it's just don't believe what you see on TV. Yeah, take stuff with a pinch of salt, especially if you're watching a comedy, because a lot of the time they will just hype something up or exaggerate something just for the sake of making the film funny. Well, if you do want to watch The Night School, watch The Night School. It's not a bad film. I quite liked it. And if you think about it, I just taught you some stuff. So I guess this is my night school. Although it's sunny out. So maybe it's just my school. No, that's gross. Let's not call it that. Rich Kane out.